I've been out of school for many, many years, and I came back to school requiring for my job and got into the learning community, and it was amazing. It was the best thing I did.
I enrolled in a learning community because I thought it was convenient. It was a way to combine two courses that I needed, but also that had content that I enjoyed.
One class is humanities, the other class is English, and one kind of goes with the other. And really, by the end of the semester, you can't even tell the difference. I mean, you just show up for class, and it's just class.
I'm really happy being in a learning community because I think it's a great opportunity for students to learn a couple different classes, the whole materials combined, and the teachers are willing to work with you.
A learning community is where two classes, so right now I have an English and reading class, and they're basically connected together. They focus, they have topics that interact with each other. You have the same teachers for those two classes, and you basically receive the same grade for both those classes, even though it feels like just one class.
A learning community is when two classes combine. It's more time, more helpful, more hands-on basically.
I first enrolled in a learning community because they said it would go by faster, and because you're taking 3 classes simultaneously instead of having to take them all separately. And I was kind of worried about it at first because there's going to be 2 teachers in the classroom at all times, but it turned out it was great. It was well integrated. All the assignments carry over. Everything's just integrated really well.
Last semester when I took my first learning community, it was new to me. I'd never been to college before, so it was different, but I really enjoyed how much attention I was getting. Considering I was new, I didn't understand a lot of things, how things were structured, so it was a good cushion for me to intro into college.
When I started off college, I enrolled not knowing what I was getting myself into. It was more based on my time and when I work and balance, and I'm really glad I did. I love it. I love the group work, the participating, the more extra time, more helpful.
It actually gave me a way to be more efficient with my time. I didn't have any gaps in my scheduling. It also allowed me to work with with students that were that had the same major as I did.
So I enrolled in this learning community because I noticed those were 2 of my prereqs that I needed for my degree, and it was the most convenient for my time schedule because I do work full-time during the day.
The advantages as far as time schedule, I'm a single mom, so it was convenient as far as my schedule goes. As far as the curriculum goes, it all comes together, and the way it ties together the different classes was convenient.
I decided to re-enroll in the learning community because I liked it the first time. It got done with my classes quickly. All the assignments carried over and was integrated, and so I could really get it done quickly and efficiently, and wouldn't feel like I'm wasting time researching one thing and then having to research another thing for another essay. So everything was kind of just fit together.
Learning communities are different than a normal class because you have the same teacher for 2 different classes that really kind of focus on driving you and making you successful.
In learning communities, everything's more together, and everything kind of melds together and just makes more sense of how you would use the skill in the real world.
Because it's the way it's structured, I kind of reach out to my instructors a lot. They constantly message me, I message them as well. You know, the communication is key, and even when we're in class, for example, if someone's running late, you know, someone will get a message and they all communicate with each other.
The advantage that I had from taking a developmental class and then a college class got me to grasp a lot of the information I needed, especially in the humanities side, to really understand more of what the college is going to, bring me.
Personally, it helped me because coming out from after high school, I was very low in confidence. I had absolutely no confidence whatsoever in myself. And taking that learning community with those teachers in particular, it helped me a lot in becoming more positive, and I've seen myself grow as a person because of it.
We had more time together. There was just more involvement from my professor in the learning community. He actually, when I first started, he gave me a tip basically not to be afraid, because it was my first class that I had taken in 8 years, first college class I had taken in 8 years. And he told me that there was a safety net and not to be afraid to use it.
It seemed like time flew by. For all the years that I went to school, when I was younger, I felt like school dragged on forever, but I've actually enjoyed school for the first time in my life.
Last semester I was in a learning community with, it was psychology and reading, and I really liked how they combined the material together. Everything worked well together, the reading, the psychology. They were willing to help, and then I found out that there was going to be another learning community, which was great. I was so excited to enroll because I know I was going to be successful in that classroom, because I know they're willing to work with you no matter what.
My favorite thing about learning community is you actually feel like the teachers are there to care for you, and like they're trying to help you succeed in college. They don't want you to fail. They talk with you if they see you struggling with something, or they really just want you to succeed and not fail in college.
Professors in learning communities are usually more geared towards you. They get to know you better and know where you struggle and where you're strong, so you really get a sense of they're trying to help you instead of just trying to help a student.
But with the learning community, because they're working on building this bigger picture for us, they are watching our process of understanding and growing.
And it was fun because it was a social thing.
I have made more friends in a learning community, and it's really all because we have more time with each other. Instead of just 1 hour, we have 2, and then break time is good too. We get to talk, and the teachers are really relaxed.
So in a learning community, you're not just a student, you become a team. Your teacher wants you to succeed. You're there with them 2 nights a week along with your other classmates, and you build as a team to be able to succeed and make sure that everyone succeeds. You have a different relationship with your instructor at that point.
Well, the assignments in my other classes are just straightforward, and they're so different because they're such diverse classes. But with the learning community, it's amazing because you have these different subjects, but they all tie in together to one big picture. So it's like an umbrella of learning. We're together more throughout the day, so we kind of build that relationships, and because we get broken up in different groups, we are able to work together. So we kind of build a bond with our class. Honestly, we work together outside the class a lot. So if we had to I even have one of my classmates that's in my learning community, she's helping me with my math, and I'm helping her with something else. So we're always kind of networking and helping each other out.
I believe that you do have a bigger bond with the students in learning communities because we're there at the same time, we're learning together, we have breaks, we can talk about the subjects if we need help on anything. So I think it's really different.
If students were wanting to register in a learning community, I would give them advice that it's a very outspoken class. You participate, you have your own input in certain things, you don't just sit there, it's group work, you learn off each other, it's an actual community where you learn different things.
Well, I've actually developed relationships with my friends outside of class where I'm able to hang out with them more.
Making these relationships matters to help you as a student, to make you succeed along with your other classmates. Working with the teacher, you have a smaller class number.
All the kids stick together. I mean, as adults, with younger kids and all that kind of stuff, everybody's kind of seen as equals. In my last learning community, I have one of the guys in my wedding.
The fact that a learning community gives you more time with the instructor and with your peers, you have a lot more in-depth conversations. You're able to learn more about that specific subject, more time to ask questions, get more thorough answers.
You have a lot of help on papers, assignments, projects, anything that you need, they will be there for. And having those 3 teachers, you're not waiting on one teacher to respond to you, if you have a question. Like, it's not going to be late at night that you're getting this response. You have 2 other teachers to back you up if one can't answer the question. I love having the 3 teachers, again, as support, and it's interesting to see how all of them think differently and the way they do things differently, but how they collaborate into one assignment.
Our assignment is different in a learning community than a regular class. I say it is because in the learning community, they give you a little bit more detail and they're a little bit more hands-on with the assignments.
In our learning community, the workload isn't a lot. You expect, since it's 2 different classes, you would have a lot more homework hours. It's more in depth. It's more out thinking. You want to think out of the box. They want you to really think what the concept really means.
The classes, I think, are similar. The workload is similar. It's basically just an opportunity to get more credits, more credit hours, I think, for probably a similar amount of work and effort. Yeah, the assignments actually do count for both classes in a learning community.
The homework is shared between the two, so you're not doing as much as 2 separate classes. You have joint homework, so it makes it a little easier.
Yeah, having the 2 classes together definitely had advantages because of the workload. You got to work on it in both classes, not just one, and you still had more time with the teacher to ask more questions because of those 2 classes being there during the week.
I think incoming freshmen should definitely be the first one to enroll in learning communities, just because I know that it's a lot more easier to combine the materials because teachers are willing to work with you.
I think that learning community can help anyone that enrolls in it, and I believe that the learning community is the way to go when it comes to classes.
If you're thinking about signing up for a learning community, you just do it.
You know, you can really take care of some credits really quick. The less obvious is you get to smash 2 classes together. You know, at first you kind of see it as, like I said before, 2 separate classes. In the end, I mean, the time flies by and it just becomes 1 class you take twice a week.
I would highly recommend that somebody who's been out of college for a while, who's thinking about returning, enroll in a learning community. When I saw my enrollment advisor, they actually recommended that I sign up for the learning community.
I would say enroll in a learning community, get to know people on campus, build a camaraderie with other people, meet new friends. You're 18, you're young, you get 2 classes out of the way with a lot less homework.
I would say go for it. I would say take a learning community because to me, again, it gave me that confidence boost, which I saw in being able to grow as a person.